Now let's talk about the elephant in the room, your mental health right now. If you're feeling anxious, stressed, burnt out, or like you're barely keeping your head above water, that's not a personal failing. That's a normal response to the pressure you're under. But normal doesn't mean you have to accept it and suffer through it. Name what you're feeling. Sometimes just saying, I'm anxious about the mocks or I'm burnt out makes it less overwhelming. Talk to someone, a friend, a parent, a teacher, a counselor. Separate productive worry from unproductive worry. Productive worry is when you say something like, I don't understand this maths topic. I should ask my teacher. Unproductive worry is something like, I'm going to fail everything and ruin my life. When you catch yourself in unproductive worry, try to redirect it. What's one thing I can do about this right now? Break it into small chunks and it's more manageable. I know myself, I used to freak out over math, but there's no point. I'd sit down, identify what I'm struggling with, read up on it, practice a few exam questions, and 99% of the time, I felt much better afterwards. Lower the stakes mentally. The leaving cert matters, but it's not the only thing that matters, and it's definitely not the only route to your future. If you mess up in your Christmas exams, you can recover. If you have a bad day, you have tomorrow. One bad grade is not the end of the world. A perfect example is me in school. The highest grade I got in maths was 53% in the mocks. All my Christmas and summer tests were all 44s and 48s. And then in the actual leaving cert, I got 86%. Make sure to find your pressure release valve. You need something in your life that's completely separate from school and studying. For some, it's exercise. For other, it's seeing friends, playing music, gaming. Just make sure you have something that lets you turn your brain off, ideally away from a screen. If you play a sport, make sure you don't give it up. That's the worst thing you can do in sixth year. It's acceptable to miss a match for a leaving cert exam, but make sure you keep it up through sixth year so it can act as that release valve. What you should be doing leading up to your Christmas exams. Firstly, set a goal. If you haven't done this already, you should set a points goal you think you can achieve. Divide that by 6 to get the average points you need to get per subject. Let's say I need 500 points for my course. I'm going to take 500 and I'm going to divide it by 6. That's roughly 83 points per subject. If you're in sixth year, leading up to your Christmas or November exams, focus on consolidating what you've learned so far, not learning new material. Start making condensed notes or flashcards, identify your weakest topics in each subject, and hammer down on them. Do your best on your Christmas exams, but don't spiral if they don't go perfectly. These are a practice. They show you what you need to work on and where you're at.